Hi there. Okay, so what we're going to do today is do some chipping lessons on slopes, how best to chip off a slope. So as you can see here, we've got a downhill lie, then we've got this little hollow bit, then we've got an uphill lie, and then we've got a pin that's quite close to us. Now, most of you would grab a lob wedge out straight away and try to chip it on there, which you can do. I mean, we'll have a go with the lob wedge and see how we play that. Get rid of that leaf. So this is what you have to remember. Downhill lie, you always need to get your shoulders level to the slope. That's important. You always have to swing with the slope. If the ball's here, where my thumb is, and you try to lift it, what's going to happen is the club's going to come down, hit the ground, bounce, thin the ball. It will you'll either chunk it and it'll go there, or you'll catch the ground, bounce, and it will go across the other side. We have to hit down. So not only are we hitting down, but if that's the level of the flat lie and on a downhill lie, my 60-degree loft has turned into probably 45. So the ball on a downhill lie when you chip is definitely going to run more. There's not a lot you can do about that. If you've got a nice fluffy lie, you might be able to whip it under and open up the club, but here, this is a tight lie. There's not a lot that we can do. So we'll have a go and we'll play it. So with a shot like this with the lob wedge, we're looking to just try to land it on the edge here. There's a chance it might hit the bank, but that's the risk you take with the lob wedge. So wide stance. You need a wide stance because you need stability on this, okay? You can see my feet are nice and wide. My core always needs to be level, or well, probably ahead. So if that's the ball back there, the ball on this type of shot actually, I would say, is 60% right, 40%, so it's just right of centre. So for a right-handed golfer, it's behind the middle of my stance, okay? It's not forwards. And what I'm going to do is try and strike with the slope. I mean, as I say, this is a risky shot, and this is probably not the one that I'd play in a game, but let's have a go. So I'm leaning over. Okay, we're going to try to just land it in the fringe. Let's have a go. Oh, we've hit that well. We've hit that really well. And as you can see, that's run. To be honest, that's quite a good shot. I'm not too upset with that. 10 foot from the flag. Now, this is what I would do. So I would look at this, I'd say, right, okay, to get it to stop, and I hit that pretty much as good as I'd ever gonna hit it, it's still gone. So what I'm looking to do is to pitch the ball here on the level. I think too many people would pitch it into the slope. The slope's gonna kill it, it will jump, we don't know what it's going to do. The first bounce on this type of shot, and in any chip, but certainly this type of one, is the most important part. Flat spot. Try to find a flat spot. So if I chip it to here, I then need a club to run it up there. So let's go with an 8-iron. So because of the slope, my 8-iron's probably turned into a 7 or 6, so we're going to get lots of run, but we're going to need a fair amount here. And again, regardless of where this ends, let's say I hit this, it doesn't go as close as the lob wedge. Why would I pick the 8-iron over the lob wedge in a game? Because I'd never sacrifice the strike. I'd always pick the shot that I believe I've got more chance of striking consistently. The lob wedge with this type of lie, lots can go wrong. With the 8-iron, a bad one's going to get on the green, if I'm honest. So again, wide stance, weight over, I'm striking down. I'm looking to pitch the ball only about here, then it should run up and hopefully run towards the flag. So see how I take my time, look how wide my stance is for a simple chip. It's because I need stability. The ball's right of centre, okay? Let's have a go, strike it. There we go, so that's run through. Okay, it has ended up nearer than the lob wedge, but it was such an easier shot. To strike it down there, let it run through was easy. That's what I recommend on a downhill chip. Let's have a go now on an uphill slope. Okay, let's talk about chipping from an uphill lie. So, unlike the downhill lie where you only get the one stance option, an uphill lie you get two. So one is you get nice and wide and you stand with your shoulders level to the slope again, and we swing with the slope. The other one, you have your feet really close together and strike in to the ball. So depending on how close the flag is to you would really depend on the one that I would pick. If I have hardly any green to play with, like this one here, I'd probably go for the shoulders level with the slope. If I had a lot more green, I'd go with the feet close together, because the ball comes out lower, hotter, it's going to run a lot more. It's easier to judge, but I'm going to play both of them for you now. So this one here, again, you can see the width of my stance, so it has to be wide because we need to support you. And this time here, the weight, yes, will be on your back foot. Okay, so I know we always say weight forward. For an uphill lie, that weight's going to be on your back foot. The ball is definitely back of centre, right of centre still, but my core is still forwards. This is the important bit. Ball relation to core is what it matters more than anything. Okay, why is the ball back? Because I'm not going to strike it otherwise. So I come into this position here, the weight's on the back leg, and see I'm just going to use my shoulders back and through. There's a little bit of wrist here, but I don't want to do too much wrist, because if I hinge too much, that changes my angle of attack. It goes into the ball, it's going to make it come out fast and hot, which is what that one's going to do anyhow. So we've got to be careful that all we're going to do is swing with the slope. So to swing with the slope, the weight has to be back. If it's forwards, we go into it. That's why it's there. So get myself comfortable. Okay, so I'm here. So actually I'm back in here. Weight's back. I'm just going to do a stroke back and through. Let's see what happens. Back, through. Popped it up. Just caught the down slope. Okay, not too bad. What's that? About 3 foot from the flag. Okay, so that's that one. You saw the height it got straight away. It's quite a big swing. Now, this one, this time here, feet are really close together. Weight's on the left-hand side. We do have a little bit of wrist hinge, and I'm striking into the ball, which means that after you've hit, there's a good chance the club's not going to go anywhere. It's going to go into the bank. This is perfect if you've got to chip it and you want to run it up to a flag. This one's perfect for that. Or if you're in thick grass. If you're in thick grass, this long, slowy one, sometimes the clubs get snagged and it's not so good. So weight on the left, strike into the ball. Let's have a go. So this will probably come out lower, and it's certainly going to release a bit more. So there you go, struck it. And as you can see, the ball's come out, run a bit more than what the first one did. Both of them are okay, but going from the near flag, you're much better to go with the slope, longer, slower stroke. Just strike it, let it pop up, land softly. If you want to run it a bit further, feet close together, weight forward and strike into the ball. It will come out lower, it will run more. Good luck. Okay, here we are, with a nice lovely chip here with the ball way above our feet. So the first thing I would think about, okay, if this was a full shot, ball above my feet, the ball draws round to the left, which means it produces top spin. Top spin in chipping wise is more run. This is going to run more than what it normally would. So what I would look to do here, I'd look to chip the ball, get it on the green as quick as possible, let the ball run. The ball might also curve a bit down to the left. Yes, there's a bit of a break here, but because of the way it's going to be hit, the ball will also spin to the left. So I need to take that into consideration. So what I would do is normally, I suppose, a 9-iron, if I chipped it on the edge of the green, would run. I'm going to drop down to a pitching wedge. Just because of what I said, it's going to give a bit more run. Okay, so ball above feet. What I do here, I'm holding it down the bottom of the grip. I'm not a fan of holding it on the shaft, so I would never say that. I'd hold it down there. And you see I'm doing a few practice swings. So I'm almost allowing the club to work with the slope. We don't want to go up and down. Certainly don't do it without any wrist. One there, and you almost want to just, as you come back, you're going to snap the club back into impact. And you see how the club is just getting snagged on the grass. That's fine, because you're going to strike the ball first. Ball position wise, with a shot like this, what I do is I put the club down. You see how I'm just looking at where I want to land the ball, and I'm just moving my feet to get comfortable. Okay, don't have it too close in case the ball moves. I think a shot like this is so important you're comfortable. If you want to look at it, okay, this one is a tiny bit further back, but it's what my body felt comfortable with along with my eyes. So, gonna look to land it just on the green, right to the hole, because it should come down. Let's have a go. There we go, and as you can see, it's rolled up. Could have hit it a little bit further left, but I'm pin high, but 8 foot away. And you saw how I got the strike. The important thing on all these shots is to make sure you get the strike. And this ran at least one club more than what it would have done. So if this was a flat shot, I might have used a 9-iron. Because the slope, I dropped down to a pitching wedge. Good luck. Okay, so last one of the awkward slopes around the green, ball below feet. Now, if you end up in this position, it is quite rare, but we'll go through it anyhow. So this is the one where you're leaning the foot and you want to go forward. So the shorter the swing I can make on a shot like this, the better, as far as I'm concerned. So we haven't got too much rough here, so we're not too worried. Yes, you could putt, but we're going to go through what to do if you don't putt. So there is no way I'll take out a lofted club here. So if I grab my 60, I can see we've got a bit of rough ground to carry. I would have to play this, I'd have to stand quite open, I'd have to strike into it to generate some spin to slow it down, when really there is no need. So what I would do is I'd probably go to like a 9 or an 8 iron. Let's have a look. Normally I do always like to land the ball on the green, but again, as I've said before, I'd always get the strike. So I'm probably going to go with an 8 iron. We can land it in the fringe and we should be okay. So the important thing here again is to make sure I get really, really comfortable. So my legs are quite flexed for a shot like this, a bit like a bunker shot. And you can see I'm just doing a gentle stroke. We don't want wrists. Wrist means that there's so much room for error, and because the ball's below you, there's a good chance we could top and thin this anyhow, and that's the last thing we want to do. So my legs are quite flexed. Again, same as the ball above my feet, I would sort of shuffle myself to get comfortable. Okay, I can feel this leg here is definitely supporting me a bit. I'm going to get into where I feel comfortable to strike the ball. Okay, so I feel from there I can strike the ball. And all I'm going to do is just strike the ball forwards and see what happens. We're not going to try to do anything too mad. Let's just have a go. So there we go. So we bumped it through, and as you can see, that's ended up 2 foot from the hole. So let's just have a go with the lob wedge and see how differently that plays out. Let me try to place this down. Okay, so the lob wedge is definitely not the club I'd pick from there, and I think too many of you do. Okay, so this one here, I can land it on the green, but my strike has to be so much better. So what by that I'm saying, there's less room for error. Always pick a chip shot where you can chip it close, where you've got loads of room for error. So the stance is a little bit wider because the swing's bigger, need a bit more stability. Let's just see what can happen. Okay, there's no way I'd hit the shot in again, let me tell you. Okay, strike. There you go, look, that's exactly what happened. Got underneath it, popped it up in the air, nowhere near the hole. That is why I would not use a lob wedge on a shot like this. Always pick a club you can do a really short, slow stroke with. Knock it even into the fringe. You can even run it through some of this rough grass. Your strike will be better and your result will be 90% better 19 out of 20 times.